Hey you guys, so today we are looking at this, which is H.G. Wells's War of the Worlds from Imprint. It's actually George Powell's version of H.G. Wells's War of the Worlds, but yeah. Imprint, which I think is kind of, I don't know, Australian company. I did order this off of eBay, off of a gentleman in the UK, and it never turned up. So then I had to reorder it from somebody in Australia, where this is manufactured. And yeah, it eventually got here. It's been so long. It was sat in, it got to an Australian place to be dispatched, and then just sat, and then poof, was here. So yeah. Now this is one of my all-time favourite movies. This used to be one of those films. I had like 3 or 4 video cassettes as a kid. Star Wars 1, 2 and 3, and this and some other, and I used to love watching this. It is like my childhood. I had to get this because it has some great extras on it. Now I will say that the Sky is Falling making of War of the Worlds documentary is the one that was on the original DVDs, the second release. They released the first release with, I don't think any extras, it was just the film, which was, you know, when DVD first came out, oh wow, look how clear that is. Then they re-released it with upgraded picture quality, and it looked terrible because you could see the strings. So when this came out, I must admit, I was kind of like, when this turned out the other day, and I was putting it in my 4K player to watch it on my 4K TV, because this is supposed to be a 4K restoration, as you can see there, mastered for new 4K restoration from the original camera negatives. I was a little worried. I was panicking a little bit that there was going to be the strings holding up the Martian war machines, but you can't see them, because it has been correctly, what's the word, colorized and done and upgraded and restored. So yes, you do not see them. But okay, I was going to do this at the end. I was going to tell you about the extras, but I'm going to tell you now. The picture quality on this is amazing. It is so colourful. It is so bright. It screams out at you. It's a sunglasses job. You know, with us all being at home for a while, I have sat and fiddled around with my TV, and I think I have it pretty much spot on for colour and contrast and everything. And this looks breathtaking in it. It's 4-colour print originally, and when you look at this, the colours in it are bright, they sparkle. There's a bit where they're in the bunker when the war machines first come out, and the colours that are projected onto his face, you know, just as like a silk, like down the side. There's purple, there's green, I think there's blue, there's red. Oh, and you just like, look how colourful it is. It is brilliant. The sound is perfect. And it looks so clear and crisp. Some of it is so good. It looks like you're kind of watching a 3D, like it looks like it could have been filmed yesterday. It is that good. I am so impressed with them. Whoever did the restoration, bravo, you did an amazing job. I am so happy with this. It gets 10 out of 10 for just being so well done. So, extras wise, as you can see, mastered for 4K restoration from the original camera negative. Exclusive audio commentary film critiques Barry Forshaw and Kim Newman. That's a pretty good commentary. They really do know their stuff about it, and that is probably the newest commentary on it. They do at points saying it, oh, we don't want to repeat what they say in the other commentaries, so they kind of amble off of it. But that is the one, that was the first one I listened to. I really enjoyed that one. Then there is the audio commentary with actor Gene Barry and actress Anne Robinson. That is a little bit stilted. There is a few, you know, like quite big gaps. It is more about them than it is about the film maybe. But it's still an interesting commentary. You know, it's interesting to see how Hollywood was back in the 50s. And hear the interesting stories they have to tell. Finally, in the commentaries, there is the fan commentary with Joe Dante, Bob Burns and Bill Warren. Now, Joe Dante, let's see, Explorers, Gremlins, I believe, and lots of other great films from the 80s. And he's an interesting guy. Bob Burns, also very interesting. He's a guy that collects memorabilia for these things. He has the alien head from Aliens, you know, the Queen. He owns the head from that. He owns all sorts of props. He creeps in on... creeped in sounds mean, but he appears on lots of like extras on the Universal Monsters and things like that. He's such an interesting guy. I think they should do a DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, whatever you want to call it, of his collection. I think they should do like a tour of it, because I would definitely buy that. So if anybody's watching that has that, please do it. I'm not sure if Bill Warren knows, but he was kind of interesting. So yes, The Sky's Falling, making of the War of the Worlds documentary. That is the one that was on the original DVD from a few years back. The Wells, the father of science fiction, that's an interesting little making about him. Mercury Theatre on the Air presents War of the Worlds radio broadcast. That's pretty good. It's interesting to watch. It's a little bit crackly. It's not the best quality, but it's fun to listen to. Theatrical trailer is good, and photo gallery. Yeah. And you can see down there it says Paramount Pictures presents War of the Worlds, starring Gene Barry, Anne Robinson, Les Treman. I hope I said that right. Produced by George Powell, music by Leith Stevens, directed by Brian. Yeah, you didn't read that there. Look, read that yourselves. It is from 1953. It's from 1 hour and 25 minutes approximately. It comes in 1080p, DTS HD 5.1 surround, and LPCM 2.0 stereo. English language, English HOH subtitles. Manufactured by Imprint. Just out of interest, the case inside does look like it's kind of got a bit warm or wet or something. It's kind of creased, but it doesn't matter. It's a shame that the artwork on the front of there isn't that artwork. I like that better because you open up inside and it has the Martian War Machines. I was kind of hoping that it was going to be one of those reversible covers with that on the inside, but still a good cover. But I like that better. There's some great artwork, look at that. That's brilliant. Yeah, so the commentaries and things like that, I'm not going to go into details, but they are so interesting. They tell you some really interesting history of the film. I never knew Hitchcock wanted to make a version of it. There you go. And Ray Harryhausen, who I met many years ago, and after seeing if you watch the documentary about the making of, they talk about and they show a little clip from it, and I had seen that clip the week before I actually met Ray Harryhausen. I had only met him for a few minutes, but I asked him, because the creature that he has in it looks very much like the Kraken from Clash of Titans, and I asked him, did you use the same, like the principle of the same head? And he had a guy that had just written a book about him. And the guy gave me this very long thing about, oh no, he would never use anything like that, and he would never do it. And he rambled on for a minute and a half about how Ray Harryhausen wouldn't do that. And when he finished, Ray Harryhausen looked at me and said, yes, it is the same head. Or a very similar thing. And smiled like, So yeah, that was, yeah. Doomed by diminishing oxygen and falling temperatures on their own planet, the Martians covet the rich atmosphere and fertile fields of the planet Earth. One night a huge flaming projectile lands near the little California town of Linda Rosa. Similar objects have landed in other parts of the world. The War of the Worlds is on. Gene Barry and Anne Robinson star in a special edition of legendary producer George Powell 1953 adaptation of the greatest science fiction story of all time, presented in newly restored 4K master. Yep, and the same stuff that was on the back of the box. So, I definitely recommend this. It may be a little bit hard for you guys to find. Like I said, I had to import mine from Australia, and it was a little expensive. Not like bank breaking, but it was more than you would pay for a normal Blu-ray these days. But I am so glad I did. I think this is one of those Blu-rays that will probably go up in price because they are going to be hard to find because it was only put out in Australia. I know that Criterion have done one as well. I think that might have some of the same extras on it, but again, that's region locked for America. This one is region free for Australia and the UK. We have the same region code, so it will work if you can find the Australian one. You won't need a region free player. Is there anything else? I will say that the fan audio commentary, the Joe Dante, Bob Burns and Bill Warren, that must have been on something else a while ago, because they talk about Spielberg making a new version of War of the Worlds, and it's like, well, that's years ago. And I guess that the Kim Newman one, the Kim Newman commentary, is newer, because they talk about that terrible BBC War of the Worlds that we had at Christmas. I hated that. I'm not a big fan of the Tom Cruise film either. This is my War of the Worlds. I would love somebody to make like the classic, the proper story of the book, but I think that would be quite hard to make, because it's just a man on his own, and to do that kind of thing is difficult. So yeah, you need somebody to do the exposition with. You need somebody to talk to. So yeah. So if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the likes, hit the shares, hit the subscribe buttons at the bottom. It all helps the channel. Hope you guys all have a great day. Hope you have a great night, and we will see you all in the next video. Bye now.